What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be going through SEO in general for 2020. So there's a few different things that we're going to be covering inside of this video, and we're going to go through content, we're going to go through keyword research, and we're going to go through backlinking. So when you start out with SEO, it can be quite difficult because there's many different things that you need to get used to and you really don't know where to focus your efforts. So what I wanted to do with this video is break it down so you can understand where you should be focusing most of your efforts, like around 80%, and then where your remaining 20% should be focused. So many of you, when you start out, you're probably like doing a lot of keyword research every other day, and you're also writing content. You're also trying to establish, what backlinks are and how to get them and ethical ways of getting them, or obviously, whether you should even be focusing on them in the first place. And there's so many different varying parts to why you would use backlinks or why you wouldn't use them, and different ways of getting them and how important they really are to your website. So there's different factors have complete different effects on a website. Now, usually I do tutorials on the channel, but today what I wanted to do is just have like a chit chat just on a face-to-face kind of thing to really give you an understanding of what you should be doing. All right, so first of all, what I want to go through is keyword research, and I want to break SEO down into 3 simple steps. There are all of the advanced things that you need to do, but you can ask any advanced marketer, if you want to put it that way, or any SEO guru or educator, teacher online, whatever it may be. Ask anyone that you're learning from if they're not focusing on these 3 things, because they always are. And it's keyword research, good quality content, and backlinks. Now, backlinks is negotiable depending on type of method that you're using, and that's the way that you're sourcing your keywords. So when we talk about keyword research, I don't factor this into your 80-20 rule, and the reason why is because when you're doing keyword research, that should be something that you just do at the beginning. It's a set thing you spend a day or 2 on, and then you shouldn't be worrying about it for sometimes the entirety of your site if you're building like a small niche website. If you're building a bigger site, then you might do keyword research every quarter or every 2 months, every month maybe, but you're not going to be doing it as consistent as every time you write a new piece of content. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make right off the bat. So what you need to be doing when you're doing your keyword research is you need to have a day set out and just focus on keyword research. So whatever method you're using, whether you're learning from someone who's sourcing them using tools, or you're using like an alphabetical soup method that Income School teach, whatever way it is, you need to sit down and build a list of different keywords that you're going to be targeting, and then retain that list and just update it whenever you come across new keywords that you think are relevant and of a certain level of competition that your funds can cover you to rank for. Okay, now the way you source your keywords is going to differ depending on your budget. For example, if you know that you've got a big budget and you're going to be buying backlinks and doing all of those kind of things, that might not be ethical to you. But if it is ethical to you and you're going to do that, then you might go for more difficult keywords or more higher keywords. And the way you might source those keywords might be using tools or reverse engineering competitor sites and things like that. Now, when you're trying to use a method where you're not going to be using any kind of backlinks and you don't want to buy them, then there is only one keyword research strategy that you should be using, and that purely is finding long tail, underserved keywords that have a small to medium search volume, or high if you can find it with that low competition. But your main thing is finding a keyword that is underserved. And what that means is usually when you're going to be building links and doing all these different things, you can go and find a keyword that you think is just low competition and you can probably rank for it given the amount of resource that you can apply to it. So say, for example, you can do some links, you can buy high quality content, all of these kind of things. If you are, for example, not going to be building backlinks, then you should be looking for keywords that either haven't had any content written on them, like in the Google SERPs, in the index, or you should alternatively be looking for keywords that are there but the content is just not good enough. So you're seeing an underserved gap in the market there, in the niche, and that's your method. Like, you don't need to complicate it any further than that. You just need to find keywords that are underserved, and you ideally want to find like some with volume, but you can also target these 0 volume keywords as well, because I've tested it like intermittently. I haven't got a lot of data on this, but I've seen that these keywords can bring quite a little bit of search volume into the hundreds hundreds per month of searches, even if they have a zero search volume. So give or take, you're going to have to use your kind of common sense to see whether that's a good keyword for you to go for, even if it doesn't have search volume. If it makes sense for your website, then probably still go for it. You know, you have to ultimately test and find out what the kind of analytics show you. And that's another thing. Like, if you are creating a website, everyone wants to know the answers like of A to Z before they get started. And all you need to focus on when you're starting is point A. Then once you've done A, move on to B. So your first thing's keyword research. Like, well, go set up your site. Once you've done that, you need to go source some keywords. Once you source the keywords, you can't ask people, like, you know, what do you think of this keyword, or what do you think of that? Because no one knows. The only way you're going to find out is by writing a piece of content on that keyword, and then the feedback that you get from the analytics. If you want to know how do you read the data, like where do you get the answers? The answer is not from me or any other self-help teacher or whatever online. It's going to be from Google Analytics, yeah, and your rank tracker. So you're going to look at the data and say, okay, I targeted this keyword that had no search volume. How many searches a month did it bring in after I created the piece of content? And then you're also going to look at, like, where is the article ranking? Obviously, if you're in like position 15, you can't really expect any search volume, you know, like any traffic, sorry, to the article. If you're in position 1, 2, or 3, and then you're looking at it and thinking, it didn't really have search volume and I'm only getting 10 visitors a month in position 3, then that's a good indication that maybe that method's not working for you, or maybe you need to go in further testing. Maybe that topic is not so relevant for your particular website. So then you won't create any more content around that. And I don't want to drag that out too much. So that's like the kind of basics of your keyword research. Now, step number 2, which is going to be step number 2, is focusing on high quality content. This is one of the most important things you can ever do on a website. And I would say this is like the 80% of the success of a website. So after your keyword research, it's quality content. And the reason why keyword research came first is because you can have the best piece of content on planet Earth. And if you have not done the right keyword research, say for example, we go and try and target like best shoes for 2020. Well, there's these massive authority websites up in the top 10 for that keyword. So even if me and you go and personally buy every single pair of shoes, even if the top 10 never, and we review them and we hire the best expert writers to write that content and the best SEOs to do our SEO, we probably are still not going to rank unless we've got a mass amount of cash to throw into link building. So what I'm trying to say is that quality content matters, but only if your keyword research was done well and merges and can connect with that. So once you've got your keyword research, the next thing is high quality content. What is high quality content? Well, if you're wondering what that is, I've got a perfect video that I've done just recently that explains exactly what high quality content is. So first of all, we're talking about how the content is written, having like the right tone. I usually go for a conversational tone. I usually write in first person. There's a few other things like the way that you introduce your article, telling the reader what they aim to gain, making sure that things are done within the first kind of sentences to explain that they're in the right place, using strategic images placed on the page, maybe it be a featured image. And then we're also going into the reviews and how they should be written and the benefits and whatever else if it's that type of article. If it's more informational based, then there's different strategies for that. But I've got a video that explains all of that because I don't want to drag this video out too long. So if you want to check that out, just click the link above and then you'll be able to see that video. Once you've got your high quality written content, you then need to optimize it for SEO. So some people don't do this and it's not absolutely paramount. It depends again on the keyword research that you're doing. If you're going for more difficult terms, then you might need to start to get technical. And it depends on the type of website that you're building. If you're just building a blog for yourself in your own name, then you don't really need to do all this technical stuff. If you're going for a highly competitive industry and you're trying to build an affiliate website and your optimal goal is to rank the website and make money, then you might want to get technical. Okay, so it all depends on different things of what you're going to be doing, and the kind of end goal that you have will depend on the actions that you need to take to get there. So once you've got that, you optimize your content for the SEO. Some people do it by eye and they naturally gather that intuition. And the best people for that, I would say, is going to be Morten Stargard, definitely like one of the new channels. And I would also recommend Income School if you want to do it like that natural kind of way. If you want to get more technical, then I'd say like Matt Diggity, Sean Mars, those kind of people are really going to give you an insight to how to do technical SEO. All right, so next, after you've done that, the last thing is backlinks. Now, the reason why I would say that, backlinks are optional is purely because if you've done keyword research to find underserved keywords, then you're probably not going to need backlinks to rank. Now, I've ranked articles tons with finding underserved keywords with no links, like no links going to the article, and it ranks, okay? So your methodology when you're sourcing that kind of keyword is not looking at backlink profiles of website. You're purely doing this on a content-based approach. But when you're doing SEO for an affiliate website in a more competitive industry, and your SEO strategy, you've got more resource to spend on links, or you just find it ethical to build links and you think that's okay, then your keyword strategy is going to change, and the way that you build your content and optimize it is going to change, and the way that you build links is going to change as well. Okay, so in that scenario, if we're building those backlinks, we're either buying them or getting them organically or whatever, you still need to have a great piece of content in order for the backlinks to really have an effect on your website. And the reason why is because even if you have a bad piece of content and you send the most powerful links to it, it might rank temporarily for a short amount of time, but then your user engagement and your user metrics is going to force that page back down in the SERPs. And the reason for that is because if people are coming to the page and you've kind of fooled Google to rank you because you've used links, people are going to have a bad experience. It's going to reflect on the metrics of the website, and you're going to go back down in the rank. So in that scenario, you'd have spent a lot of money and wasted your money. So this is why you still need to have high quality content, and you have to have high quality content as well, purely because your readers need to convert. So when people come on the page, you want them to potentially buy or drop an email or sign up to something. So you have to have high quality content in order for them to do that. And that's the optimal goal. The reason why backlinks is the 20% is because it's Google's #1 off-page ranking factor, okay? So you have obviously on-page ranking factors, high quality content, all of that kind of thing, and then you have off-page ranking factors. So the #1 off-page ranking factor or off-site ranking factor is backlinks, okay? And this is based on relevancy and authority. So you don't want to just get links that are just big authority. You want to go for things that are relevant to the particular topic that the page is about. Not only that, but you want to use interlinking throughout your website to spread that authority throughout the site. So if one page gets a link, that authority is then spread to other pages. Now, you don't have to use backlinks, but again, it will depend on your kind of keyword strategy that you're using and the type of website that you're building in the first place. So the way you have to think of backlinks is it's almost like a kind of laser focused approach of sniping a page up to the top of Google. So if you, for example, had an article that's in position 45 on Google, well, that would be a good time to start sending some links to it, because at that point, it's already told you that your on page is pretty good because you've reached a certain point, and maybe your content is stagnant, it's not going any further. So now it's time to send some links to it. But you want to make sure that your content is completely SEO optimized to almost perfection before you start sending those links, because ultimately you don't want to send it to a bad page. So the way you can do that is by using a tool called Surfer SEO. That's personally what I use, and that makes sure that your content is on point for SEO purposes. So you've got all the keywords in the right places, where keyword placement is actually holding more weight than keyword density. You want to also make sure that your keyword density is correct as well. And then once you've got all of that technically sound and your article reads well, it's of high quality, it's engaging, and it potentially will convert, then you want to send some links to that and snipe that up to the top of Google. Now, the way that you actually source your links and the way that you establish what links you need to send is all within other videos. I personally don't have a lot of videos on backlinks because it's something that I'm still kind of testing and learning with, but there are a lot of people, specifically I'd recommend Matt Diggity for if you really want to learn backlinking. And if you want to check out his Diggity marketing website, you can actually get a backlink blueprint that he offers for free as an ebook to show you when you should be using links, the time scale, and how to intermittently use that with social signals, and also where to source those links. So there's tons of information that's free to find online. And if you do have any questions regarding any of it, then make sure to just leave the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But that's it for now. So I've held you long enough. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, make sure to smash the like button, because that helps it in the YouTube algorithm. And as with always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.